House of the Dragon has already made waves in the Game of Thrones universe with its deep dives into the lore, but its latest move might be setting the stage for a more significant impact. The show has resurrected a crucial world-building detail that was left out of Game of Thrones, and this seemingly small change is now integral to future Game of Thrones spin-offs, especially the highly anticipated 10,000 Ships. One of the most notable omissions in Game of Thrones was the full title of Westeros monarchs. While the titles of kings and queens were often mentioned, they were incomplete when it came to recognizing the various cultural groups that make up Westeros. In Game of Thrones, the title King of the Undulls, the First Men, and the Rhoynar was often shortened or left out, likely due to the show's focus on more pressing plotlines rather than world building. This gap in the story was most noticeable when characters like Daenerys Targaryen were introduced with their extensive list of titles, but the Rhoynar was missing. In House of the Dragon, however, the complete title has been reinstated, specifically emphasizing the Rhoynar, a people whose story was scarcely touched upon in the main series. This is not just a throwaway detail, but a clever move that will likely tie into the narrative of upcoming spin-offs. The Rhoynar, originally from Essos, were displaced from their homeland after clashes with the Valyrian Freehold, and their migration to Dorne is a vital piece of Game of Thrones history. With the spin-off 10,000 Ships centered on Princess Nymeria, a Rhoynar leader, this small yet important restoration of the title could help build anticipation for the show's exploration of Rhoynar culture. 10,000 Ships will focus on Princess Nymeria, who famously led her people across the seas in a fleet of 10,000 ships, eventually finding refuge in Dorne. This spin-off is set around 1,000 years before the events of Game of Thrones and will explore a new and largely unexplored corner of George R.R. Martin's world. With no Iron Throne battles or familiar characters like Daenerys or Jon Snow, 10,000 Ships will introduce fans to the Rhoynar's unique culture and history, adding an exciting layer to the Game of Thrones universe. What makes this spin-off particularly intriguing is that it won't just focus on political intrigue, but rather, the legendary tale of Nymeria's rise as a warrior queen. Expect dragons, seafaring adventures, and a whole new world that will expand on the vastness of Martin's universe.